Welcome back. It's the second round of our 4-week ladder series on classic Candlepins for our entire crew and the legendary Frank Face.
Very generous, Kyle.
Well, you know, there is only one. You're like the Highlander of this program. I'm Kyle Bruce, and last week in our first round matchup, we saw Mike Legendre defeat John Starner. He's back for the second round matchup against Dave Chestercove, and I think one thing that might be worth mentioning, Frank, is that these are two officers of the USCBA, the United States Candlepin Bowling Association. Dave happens to be the president of it, and Mike is the vice president. The other thing I think it is important to mention as well is that Dave is the producer of the New England Candlepin show that's based out of Franklin, Mass. It's a show that he's bowled on. It's a show that he hosts, and he's a very important figure in Candlepin bowling.
Yes, indeed. He's no stranger to TV matches, sponsoring the US or having the USBCA sponsor the New England Candlepin show. He's been bowling absolutely fantastic this year. He recently threw a 470 on the Friday Night Pro League. He's got to be confident. This is he's a great bowler, great proponent of the game. I don't see anything stopping him.
I think the other thing worth mentioning too is that the ball that Mike threw last week really seemed to work well in Amesbury, and with Dave, the kind of ball that he throws, a similar kind of house in Franklin than it is up here. So we're looking at a really good match.
I think so, especially these two bowlers are also familiar with each other, both competitively and off the lane. So I think we're in for an interesting match.
Well, I look forward to it. The winner of this match faces our second seed, Brian Fuller Jr., and like I said, this should be a good one. We'll talk to you in the post-game show. Hope you enjoy the match. Hi everybody, welcome back to downtown Amesbury for our classic Candlepins, our entire crew, and Rich Lamoni, who's very excited to be here.
Absolutely.
As you are
always excited.
Yes, I'm Kyle Bruce. Frank Face is loitering. I'm not even sure what you're doing over there. But anyhow, this is the second round matchup of our 4-week ladder series. Mike Legendre won last week against John Starner. He moves up against Dave Chestercove, who threw a 641 in the roll-off. And what can you tell us about Chester Copperpot?
He's one of the best bowlers on tour. I love watching him bowl. He's so consistent. Hits his shots, makes tens, doesn't leave a lot of pins standing. So, Mike's going to have to pin just as well as he did in his first round matchup to have a hope of winning this one. So it's going to be very close. It's going to be very tight. It should be fun to watch.
Yes. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just going to say that I believe that Dave's 470 he had this year on the Friday Night Pro League. So this will be a great matchup.
Yes, it will. It should be fun to watch.
All right.
First ball's coming up shortly.
That it is. Mike Legendre will throw our first ball right after this timeout.
Way to stare down coming from Mike Legendre at the camera.
That it is. He's even psyching out our production crew, believe it or not.
I'm terrified.
Yes.
I always thought you were unwillyable. He's giving you the willies?
What can I say? A man of his stature against mine?
I don't even know what to say. All I can tell you is that Mike defeated John Starner last week, 366 to 319.
That he did.
Had some pretty sweet cut shots, including the 6-7 with no wood, which I know Rich has made countless times.
Yeah, it's just like any other shot. Any other two-pinner. The funny thing was, on his particular shot, there was a piece of wood that he could have used, and he just went around it.
Yeah, just elected not to.
Didn't need it. Almost made it again.
Yeah. He'll start off our match with a $9. And the bomb from Mike Legendre. And here we present the man that I call Chester Copperpot, Dave Chestercove. From Walpole, the owner of a 124 league average, high single of 198, and a big high triple of 470. And he'll have a single pin to shoot at. It's the 10 pin. The winner of this match will face Brian Fuller Jr. And that wood out front was a roadblock.
Just unfortunate that it skipped up in the air.
Right.
If it stayed on the deck, that probably would have worked.
So a 10 box for Dave. One, two, four, 8, and 10. Nice bid, but couldn't carry the 10. This is my first opportunity to see Dave bowl in person. I just lied, and a lie is a terrible thing to say to start off our second round match.
And when you tell one lie, it leads to another.
Yes.
And when you tell 2 lies, you're in trouble.
Well.
And when you tell 3 lies, oh brother, you're in trouble up to your ears. I'm old.
Well, you're older than I am. I can tell you that much. Mike has his first bonus ball right here. And we have a very loud double. There was no doubt about that one. He went Brooklyn and forget about it. I think we've only had...
I think that's our
third double. And a thin hit will carry 5. I think Mark Ritchie and Tina Ward previously had opportunities at triples here in our program. A little too thin that time. But Mike is right out of the gate with a 52. That'll be a 9 box. I was talking to Rich off camera before we started, and I said this would be a great matchup. Maybe I even said that on camera. I can't even remember.
I think we said it twice.
Yes, wow. I'm repeating myself. Dave responds with a big hit. And a single pin to pick up. This is the king pin.
At least he doesn't have a roadblock this time.
This is true. That wood was not frozen, so he'll be open. And scored that in 9. Dave was the 2002-2003 WCBC Rookie of the Year. Was the NBA state doubles champ with Keith Beaupre that we had on our first ladder. And a very impressive 15-2 record on television. He's throwing a good ball so far, but is in a hole here as he's 38 after 4 and is down by 23 right now.
Mike made the most out of that ball. He got a 6-drop out of it.
Saw the same thing last week.
1, 2, 4, and 8.
Went outside on it, but couldn't carry the 8. And again, we talked about the 114 average that Mike has, but I think you may find that after his competition here on Classic Candlepins that average will be quite a bit higher.
Yes, he's off to a blazing start with the 70 half.
Yes. It's a good-looking ball. Oh, but it's the 6-7, so he can make it again, probably.
Yes.
I mean, that wood is up against the sidewall, so I mean, it's going to blast right off of the wall. If I would go right at it.
Or he can just
Go the other way.
go about it that way and have a spare in the 6th. His 3rd mark of this 2nd round matchup. Dave will have the 3-6-10.
The camera plays tricks.
That it does. But there was no doubt about that cleanup.
From looking at it from my chair, I thought that would look great, and then looking at it on the camera up close, I don't know.
No, sometimes it can be deceiving. 2-4-7 or 3-6-10. Sometimes with the wood, because it won't carry the back pin. Leave the 7 or leave the 10. In any event, Dave has his first mark against Mike's open box and fills it with 9, and will have the 9 pin to shoot at. I want to know how Dave bowls 10-pin left-handed. And has the single for a spare. There was no doubt about that one, though.
Is this something he's spoken about, Kyle?
Well, he wrote it down on this bio sheet, so I don't know if he's lying. If he is, I'll have to talk to him about it on the post-game show.
Yes.
So, you going to call him out in front of our audience?
I will. We have many loyal viewers, and not just the United States, but also in Canada, as well as beautiful Amesbury, Massachusetts. Watching the greatest sport in the world, candlepin bowling, as Mike fills his spare with 7 and has a triangle, looking at the 2, 4, and 5. And slides by the object pin. And that's an 8 box. But he's already 95 after 7. We mentioned Mike's 114 average, but is the owner of a 184 high single, 452 high triple, and has the 1, 3, and 9, which is a tough shot.
It doesn't seem that tough from the foul line.
And as
What a
soon
shot.
as I say that, Mike has his 4th mark of the match here.
But if you watch it on TV, the 9 pin's really far away from the 3 pin. That's a great shot every time you make it.
Well, you have to be very fine on it. Not like the beverage, but I don't even know if they're still around anymore. Dave is back up on lane 7, filling his spare on the 6th. In the 6th, excuse me. And he buried it in the pocket. He wants that 6-pin to go, but he's going to have a split. He has the 4, 6, and the 7.
Keeps pace with Mike's 7 fill in that box. Still down 13.
Not much he can do with this one. But he's already picked up a pinning count. And the 10 box will pick up another pin in count, which puts him at 84, and Mike's lead is down to 11. He's through the middle this time. Maybe the ball picked up a little more speed and didn't have enough time to break back into the pocket. That backup ball really seems to break quite a bit.
Indeed it does.
He's all over the head pin, though. I think he's only missed it once, if my numbers are correct. You're going to score if you keep hitting it.
This is true. That's the name of the game. That 8 box will put Dave at 92. However, he is opposite Mike's spare in the 8th. His 4th mark of this first string in our second round matchup. And our entire crew delighted that you are here watching this match. Mike just missed the head pin, but pins are still tumbling. That 7 pin will stay up, so that'll be a fill of 8. Lots of lumber in front of the 7 and 9. We capped it. That piece in front of the 7, but it didn't go. And a 10 will put Mike at 123. I believe he had a 131 to start off our match last week.
That is correct.
Well, I was just going to tell our loyal viewers, if they wanted to call me out on my mistake, that they could reach out to us on the Classic Candlepins Facebook page. They could send us an email at classiccandlepins@comcast.net, or they could call the lanes here in downtown Amesbury and talk to anybody here about it, as Mike has a thin hit to close out our first string. 1, 3, 7, 9, and 10. But as a great man once said, there are always possibilities. Nice shot. 133 plus a ball. He's bowled very, very well here. Not just last week, but starting off the second round match. Again, the winner of this match will face number 2 seed Brian Fuller Jr. as we have a punch out. Mike at 135. So a good start.
A couple of marks here get this down to single digits.
Right. And only 4 pins separating these bowlers in the roll-off, too, because Dave threw 641, Mike threw 637. As Dave looks at the 2-7.
Seems as though the entire roll-off was quite tight between the 5 of them.
Absolutely. A little heavy on number 2, but a good bid nonetheless. That's a 10 box. 102.
Mark with a good fill could put him at 120.
Or a triple can put him down by 3. So you just never know.
This is true.
Dave is all over the head pin, but he's looking at 4, 6, 7, 10. Nice bid, but didn't have the angle to get the 4 and the 7.
Played the correct side. I mean, you're going to go with that wood over there, hoping something bounces somewhere.
That's all you can do. $10 will put Dave at 112. So after 1, Michael Legendre will have a 23-pin advantage over Dave Chestercove, 135 to 112. We'll step away and be back with the second string, our second round matchup, right after this timeout.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Pro Shots. I'm Mark Ritchie, producer and director of Classic Candlepins, and we wanted to show you week to week different aspects of the professional game. This week we're going to focus on single pins. Last week when we were talking about hitting the head pin, you'll get to see more spare leaves and more breaks than you would if you missed. So these are what we're going to focus on today. If you hit the head pin and you drop 9, now you're staring at just 1 pin. It's your ball, 1 pin, separated by 60 feet. It might be a little intimidating to some people to say, I can't hit that pin, it's 60 feet away. Yes, you can, because you hit a single pin on the first ball. You hit the head pin, you were aiming at 1 pin, and you hit it. So now let's teach you how to move that around a little bit and actually hit some single pins that'll help you get more spares and help you enjoy the game more with higher scores. The best drill that I ever learned how to hit single pins was asking the guy at the bowling alley, if he wouldn't mind, if the machines could be rigged to just drop the back row of pins, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10. Now, it's very, very unlikely that you would cut one of those pins off of a wall or something and take out more than 1. So I find that this drill is a very good drill to learn how to hit your singles. It's not necessarily important that you're shooting at all the pins in the back row of the rack. What's more important is that you can adapt and move your ball side to side in order to hit a pin that's in the left corner or the right corner, and that you could figure out how to get those pins more often than not. If you could hit them every single time, you'd be a god, and please tell me how to do it. But until then, this was a drill that really helped me out, and I really hope it can help you out. Let me illustrate for you. So, the most important thing when it comes to hitting your single pins is finding your target, aiming at it, and just rolling the ball at it. A lot of guys make mistakes. They'll throw the ball a little bit too hard at a single pin. They think they have to keep it on that same line every time. The most important thing is that you throw your ball at the pin every time. Don't change it, don't amend it. Just keep throwing the same ball that you like to throw every single time, but just adapt it for the target that you're trying to hit. We've set up the 7, 8, the 9, and the 10 on lane 6, and I'm going to show you the different ways of shooting at each individual pin. Let's do it. So as you can see, all you really want to do is just take your ball and just aim at that 1 pin that you're shooting at. This is a great drill to do over and over again if you possibly can. Go to your local bowling center and just ask them while you're bowling a string if it would be possible for you to just have the machine drop down certain pins so that you can practice and get better. So that's a great drill that you can use to help you get better at single pins. I'm Mark Ritchie. Enjoy the rest of Classic Candlepins.
Classic Candlepins. Dave Chestercove is our top, higher seed for the second round matchup. So he'll start our second string.
trailing by 22 in the match. Right in the pocket, and then we'll look at the 2, 5, and 10. Wood on the deck, I would think. Hit the 2 and everything will go.
I would say you're correct there.
Or you don't even have to
Play
hit
the 5
2.
pin.
Not how he drew it up, but nonetheless, it looks the same on the score sheet. Spare in the first. Our scoreboard today is run by the very capable Frank Face, designed by Scott Moore, and we thank him as we have a strike on spare for Chester Copperpot. Mike Legendre is back up. 135 in the first string for him. Bowled very, very well. He's back on the head pin and leaves the corners full.
Gonna have to play some wood somewhere.
You don't even have to, knowing him. You know.
Right.
Nice bid. That'll be a $10 to start off the second string. With Dave's strike up, Mike goes open. We looking even, or even might even take the lead. Who knows?
Yeah, depending on the fill.
Off the head pin and another break. Just has the ball working. 1-3 on lane 6 here.
And that's why candlepin bowling is the best sport on earth.
Correct.
Hit the head pin, you leave the 7-10. Miss the head pin, leave the 1-3.
This is true.
I think we can unanimously agree on that.
I think our Mike's competitor Dave Chestercove agrees, as he is laughing heartily at me.
As long as he doesn't laugh at me. Mike has a pair of 10s to start his second string. Dave is up after going strike on spare.
This is a very important ball for Dave.
Yes.
Well, with how well Mike is bowling, they're all important.
Yes, that's true.
He thought he was going to have a whister, but he got 6 in his first ball. The 8 pin's going to be difficult, as he has the 1-3-6 in front of it. He went outside to try to carry it, but 3-6 remains, so he fills it with 8. And a 10 box.
Making that fill work with the 10 box.
And only 5 pins separate our bowlers. A little less than halfway through. Another big hit for Dave Chestercove. I tell you what, I'm glad you've tuned in. I've said that Dave Godwin against Pete Pereira was the best match we've had, and this one might even be better. Good bid, but the 5 remains. box for Mike. Open the first 3.
Mike is such a fierce competitor. That's why I love watching him bowl, And the thing with him is I've very rarely seen him in any team events. The only time I've seen him with a team is with his team that he bowls this year on Friday night. There's so many singles events in the Pro Series and things, so it's this is what he's used to. He's bowling on his own. I feel like I haven't seen him in a doubles event.
I don't think I have either, but singles events, you always see his name up there in qualifying rounds.
Yes! His first mark of the second string to match Dave's strike. A 4-pin difference in boxes completed.
That's Mike's 4th spare and his 6th mark overall.
First bonus ball. Yes! Another double strike. This time from the higher seed. The way he's throwing now, a triple will not shock anybody here.
No.
Here it is.
Great bid on the
A
triple.
pin away from a triple. He's got the 5-pin with a plank. It's not seasonable, but Mrs. Riley's duck soup is about to be served on lane 6 here. Put it down. The pressure is on. A 97.5 for Chester Copperpot.
The heat is on, Kyle.
That it is. And it's not TV38, but Mike is filling a spare, and he has the Worcester right. So Dave has seized the lead about halfway through to 13. And was nearly looking at the full Worcester. He still has 5 pins standing. Sensing a bit of a trend here in that, wow, that's a great out. What a great out. Dave is...
Got to make those 10s.
Dave and Mike very familiar with Franklin. That's known as a legit house.
Yes.
The man that they'll be facing in the semifinal grew up in this house, Brian Fuller Jr.
He sure did.
So it says a lot to do your work where you have to earn everything you get. As Mike is looking at the 7, 9, 10. Wow. Ball went over the 9 and 10.
I don't know how the wood in front of it didn't hit that piece of wood that's up against the 9 and 10.
No, I don't know either. And score that at 9. That'll put Mike at 60. Dave has unloaded the heavy artillery in our second string. He's filling his spare in the 6th right now. He again thought he had a Worcester, but he got a little bit of a break. He's looking at 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. He'll fill that spare with 5.
Maybe that's how you avoid the Worcesters, by throwing up 2 fingers every time you throw a ball.
You know,
Seems to be working for Dave.
it's never worked for me, but I don't know what to say. And again, another great shot.
4 marks in a row for Dave.
Yes.
And he made a great bid in the 3rd. He could have 7 marks right now.
I know it. I mean, if we had bonus money, he wouldn't even have to work again. Given that he's 122 with a ball in the 7th.
Well,
Rich.
We'd have to take a nickel from Dave this time.
Yeah,
not from
well,
you.
he can afford it after
It's
this.
the check mark.
Yes. 3, 5, 6, 10. No wood to help. He's already at 128. Little separation here. Put it down. The clinic from Chester Copperpot.
The wonderful crowd here, certainly enjoying the show.
Yes. You're wonderful too. So
thank you, Kyle.
Don't shortchange yourself.
I wasn't quite sure about myself.
Well, there's always therapists. Mike is through the middle here. He's trailing by 29 and box is completed. Takes out the right side.
You should wake up every day and say, I am lovable and capable.
And doggone it, people love me.
Yes.
Yes. A 9 box for Mike.
Because I am good enough. I'm smart enough.
Yes.
And doggone it, people like me.
Yes. And heavy again. He's got the big 5 leave. See how he negotiates this one, because there is some wood around the 6 and 10. That'll be open for the 4th box in a row.
It looks like Mike is bowling slightly quicker than he did in the first match. Maybe it's affecting him.
It's a pacing issue a bit. Well, Dave is at 138 plus a ball in the 8th. Ho-hum. 198 is his high single, so he's no stranger to throwing a big score. And the ball's working. He fills it with 7. 1 to 10. Little short that time. He's open for the first time since the 3rd, and as of right now, he's perfect. He's still perfect.
Quite a shot there.
155 after 9. So we have our classic Candlepins high single right now. I don't know what the previous one was. Of course, I could be making this up.
I think Mark's with a 140, I believe.
Well, you're very capable as well, Rich. I'm sure you can find that total in short order. And let's see where this wood settles down. In the channel. But with the ball that Dave's throwing him, anything can happen.
That is very true, as he assesses the situation.
Yes, he surveys that shot.
You can see he's very focused.
That he is. Concentration etched on the face of our 3rd seed, and couldn't kick a 4 and 7 over to get the 6, but he's going to be, right now he's at 164. Wow, great string. 165 and a perfect 2nd string for Dave Chestercove.
Our previous high single was actually 146 by Mark Rishi twice.
Oh, I think we have to disallow that anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I'd agree with that.
Right.
Yeah, but it was the first time he ever walked in here.
True. I mean,
You should give him credit for that, for being a rookie bowler.
The rook, able to...
And being able to throw 146 under the lights.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. And an 8 box for Michael put him at 86. As the lead is at 46 right now for Dave. A big hit, and has the 10 pin. This is the kind you like. Spare it up. Like at 96.
This could get that lead under 40. It's manageable over 10 boxes.
Well, as we've seen, he's more than capable of throwing up a big number. And he'll finish the second string with a 102. So we're going to be in store for a exciting third string, I'll tell you that much. So, our second string, Dave Chestercove, 165 on Legendre 102. And we'll be back with the third and final string of our second round matchup right after this timeout. Welcome back to Classic Candlepins. We're about to start our third string. Right now, Dave Chestercove leads Mike Legendre 277 to 237, and we have our game reset segment with the legendary Frank Face.
Oh, thank you, Kyle.
Yes.
Well, as we can see here, we have Mike Legendre with 10 hit-pin hits. Dave has 16. A couple of 9-drops made for Mike. Actually, one 9-drop out of 4 attempts made for Mike Legendre. Sorry, he's 1 for 1. Dave is 2 for 4. The difference maker, though, I think, is the first ball average. Mike Legendre is at 5.7 for the first ball. Dave is at 7.4. That also accounts for the many spares he's thrown. Dave has 6 spares. Mike has 4. In terms of strikes, Dave is leading with 3 to Dave's. Dave is leading with 3 to Mike's 2, and they both have 4 splits. So they're throwing a pretty solid ball between the two of them. But I think Dave's getting more action.
Yes, well, it should be a very exciting conclusion to our second round matchup with the winner to face Brian Fuller Jr. as we see Mike Legendre step up on lane 7 here to begin our third string. He's trailing by 40. Through the middle to get us started off. Mike is married from Blackstone, Massachusetts, about an hour and 40-minute drive from Amesbury. Begins our third string with a 9 box. Big hit is looking at the 8-9. He wanted that wood to hang around, and it looked like it was angled perfectly.
It was.
At least to take out one of them. Hopefully the second.
Right. Tried to go on the far right-hand tip of that piece of wood, but not much happened until we open first 2 to start this third string with a pair of 9s. And back up on lane 7 is Dave Chestercove. Perfect in our second string with a 165 and 7 marks. The look of determination as he just made Rich a little richer with the reverse check mark.
I should start collecting it from the bowlers.
I know it.
Shouldn't collect it from you.
Well, I can't really afford it. So I'm glad that you're looking out for my best interests. That's a spare to start us off. I believe that's mark 10 of the match. As he moves over to lane 6.
You have chosen wisely.
Wisely.
That is true.
What a smooth ball that was.
Fills it with 7. I think that wood is angled.
Favorably.
Yes. Well, it didn't work out that time.
Unfortunately not.
Caught the cap. And he takes care of that with a 10 box. And moves the lead up to 49.
Crush the head pin. And he gets to carry the 9-pin. Now he's looking at a 9-pin drop.
He wants to get things going. Right now, this is the opportunity to do it, and this is the way to start with a single pin pickup. Frank DeLuca, Rich Lamoni, and I'm Kyle Bruce, our entire crew, here from downtown Amesbury on Classic Candlepins for the right to move on to semifinal week. And a light hit carries 7 as the triangle in the corner.
Gonna have to play that flat wood. I don't think you can get around it and cap
Yeah.
the other piece. I wouldn't even want to play it out. That's the way to
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
So Mike responds to the pressure applied by Chester Copperpot.
Yes, it seems as though Mike is very well aware of what he needs to do.
They have the full horseman right. And the 10 remains. Giving more credence to your playing it on the outside theory, which is why you remained conspicuously silent.
I don't know. I just feel like driving it in a straight line. I feel like so many times you hit the 2-pin or the 3-pin, and it's just at an angle that one of the pins ends up staying. Whether it's the 6, the 4, the 7, or the 10, happens all the time.
I think it's a plastic pin versus wooden pin.
Yes, I've heard Irby speak about that before.
Yes. And while we are classic candlepins, they haven't used the wooden ones in quite a long time.
Well, that's because I forgot to make them on my lathe.
Yes, well, plus you're on the DL, so
Yes.
that would be quite a challenge for you.
Maybe next season.
Well, anything is possible in the World Wrestling Federation, as Dave is looking at 1, 3, 6, and 9. And threw it past the head pin. So Mike has some opportunities here.
It's got some daylighted for sure.
Right, yes. Daylight, one of your favorite films, believe it or not.
Incorrect.
No, all right. So a pair of 10s for Dave here. Mike is back up on lane 7, filling his
Mike
spare.
made up about a deficit of this size in the New England knockout against Irby. So
Correct.
there's nothing that says he can't go absolutely crazy. Start closing this up.
Just missed the head pin that time. As he was looking to go Brooklyn, and fills his spare with 5. Lead down to 37. We see a contrast in styles with Mike throwing the conventional ball and Dave throwing a backup ball. 58.5 here for Mike. Big bomb.
What a pitch up there.
Strike in the 6th, the 4-pin, the last one to go.
Mike is certainly not going away.
No, he is not. The profile of our number 3 seed, Dave Chestercove from Walpole. You know, we've seen the action off the first ball with these 3-pinners. I think that's the 3rd time. 3-6-10. This time there's no wood to help. And he bounced it a bit, and that altered the action of the ball, and thus he is open in the 5th as he left the 10. Score that a 9.
So he will not have 2 consecutive perfect games.
And he has his work cut out for him with a split. 2-4, 6-7.
I commented on Alley Chat about Dave a few weeks ago about how he is probably the most confident bowler I've ever met, and that he thinks every single spare just like that can go, that he can make any shot, and you need that confidence, especially in a format such as this, and he has it, and it's just fun to watch him bowl because he makes shots like that like it was nothing, like that was just a normal everyday lead.
When you have it working, the pins will work for you. Here's the first bonus ball, and nearly a double.
Double would have been huge there.
Yes. Mike will have the 10-pin to negotiate. It has a plank in front of it. Went into the channel that time, so we're going to score that a 9. Might be the turning point of the match. 3 boxes to go for Mike. And he has another single pin to pick up. This is the 6-pin.
I think Mike's a bit frustrated with that last box.
I would tend to agree with you.
Yes.
So a pair of 9s will put Mike at 95. Dave is back up on lane 7, filling his spare in the 6th, leading by 38.
Well,
Box completed.
That's just a missed opportunity, you know.
Right.
When you come right back with another great ball.
And Dave will have the Woolworth. Mike gained a pin and count, but it's 37. A little heavy on the 5, but it's hard because it's nearly on a parallel plane. And he's been pinning. 1 pin standing this string, 0 in the 2nd.
5 overall. Pretty good for 27 boxes.
It's quite impressive.
And another sledgehammer from Dave Chestercove.
There were no pins standing there. That was a bomb.
That it was. Mike is up for his last two here. And nearly answers with a strike of his own. His third 9-pin drop in a row, I believe.
You have chosen wisely.
Yes. Score that at 9. That'll put Mike at 104. Light hit, they keep falling, and another single pin. This is the 10 pin. I think with that wood, it's angled at it. So red line it and it should go.
Yes.
And there it is.
Gotta say one thing, Mike's had 3 spares in the 10th. Those are huge, huge spares over the course of a match. Head-to-head, team, or otherwise.
So he fills it with 4, a 118. And that'll give Mike a 355. Dave is back up. First bonus ball nets him 8, and he's looking at the 410. Takes a couple steps back up on the approach to survey the leave that you're looking at right now.
You have to love that he thinks that this is just any other 2-pinner.
Tried to get some movement there by utilizing the cap, and it didn't happen for him. So that's a 9 box, which puts him at 111, and only the second pin that he's left up. Needs a Mark II for 400. Well, he's made this before. 2457. And he just
Looked like he played that perfectly.
missed it, leaving the 7. I think we should just give it to him anyway. So a 9 box will put Dave at 120, and Dave Chestercove will move on to our semifinal week on Classic Candlepins as he defeats Mike Legendre 397 to 355. We'll talk to our bowlers right after this timeout. Welcome back after the conclusion of our second round matchup on Classic Candlepins. We're here with Mike Legendre, who threw a 355, defeated John Starner last week, and ran up against Buzzsaw today and Dave Chestercove, but no shame in the way that you bowled today. I thought you threw a great ball.
Yeah, I mean, the second game I just wasn't hitting the head pin, and you got to hit the head pin. And third game, I started hitting the head pin. At the first 4 boxes, I started getting the spread eagles, which I just moved over a little bit, and then started getting the 9-pin drops. And you have to make those, especially when you're down 40 pins, you have to make them. And if I missing the first one, it's mentally in your head that you have to make them. And you just missed a couple inches, and that's it. And that's the difference of the game. So. Nothing to be ashamed about, but 355 is good. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's a great total. I mean, that's going to win you a lot of head-to-head matches, you know. And Dave was bowling great, and you needed every single pin, you know. And I applaud you making the adjustment because you did start out punching through in the middle, and then all of a sudden there were 9-pin drops left and right, and you had opportunities. And, you know, tough to not be able to capitalize on them. But you missed that first one. What's going through your mind on the second one when you get what could have possibly been a 9-fill?
I mean, you know, after missing the first one, now, you know, you're like, now I need it. You know, and there's no tomorrow. So you have to make it. If you don't make it, now you got to start throwing strikes, which now I'm trying to throw the ball a little harder to try to get strikes now, which you really can't do, but when you're down 40 pins, you have to do.
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
You know, and, you know, missing it by inches, you know, at least I wasn't like in the way, you know, way too far away, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. You know.
Well, Michael Legendre, like you said before, no shame. And like I said before, I thought you bowled great, and glad you came out today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Legendre.
Thanks.
And now we're going to speak to the winner of our second round matchup, Dave Chestercove.
Thank you.
The man I call Chester Copperpot, and that was truly an exhibition.
From the Goonies movie.
Yes, you have to. Truly an exhibition there. Certainly got it going in the second string. We felt like, or at least I felt like there were rumblings in that first string that the good things were starting to come there. And then perfect in string number 2, and only left a couple pins standing in that third string.
Yeah, the first string I started off, I was dropping the ball. You know, I missed a single in the first frame. No excuse, just dropped it. Then I dropped it again in the fourth frame on the same lane. And I was like, well, I gotta start getting a little closer, figure out the timing a little, get the ball out there. And you know, I was hitting the head pin the first string. I was like, just keep doing that. Just get a little closer, get it out there, and saw what happened once I got it out there. Strikes started coming, the leaf started coming. I started making everything. I got a little lazy on the third string there, and I felt really silly missing the one in the second with the 3 in the wood. But thankfully, it didn't come back to hurt me, so I got away with it. So.
Well, Rich,
I think that particular shot, I think, is a testament to your backup ball. You know, a guy that throws a ball like Mike, it's going to cut the other way, and you're going to avoid the caps. I mean, essentially you were going right at it as if the wood wasn't there. I mean, this looked like to us from the seats, obviously. You know, we don't know what's going through your head. We just assume.
Yeah,
but
I was really trying to play the head pin there. You know, just roll right down the middle, same exact ball I just rolled, and I just turned my shoulders open. Of course, when I do that on the right side, that ball's going to go right off to the right, and that's exactly what I did. You know, made the 10 and just hoped he didn't get hot. You know.
Which he did in the first match. So you managed to hold on, and that's what you want to do. And now you have another match coming up, which should be exciting.
Yep.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll see you, Dave Chestercove, in our semifinal week against Brian Fuller Jr. And for our entire crew and Rich Lamoni, I'm Kyle Bruce. See you next week on Classic Candlepins. So that's the conclusion of our second round matchup here on Classic Candlepins. Dave Chestercove, on the strength of a perfect second string, 165 with 7 marks, moves on to face Brian Fuller Jr. next week, 397 to 355. And Frank DeLuca, it seemed like Dave was throwing a good ball that first string, and then really found his mark, made the adjustment, and the rest is history.
Well, for Kyle, I also think it's worth mentioning that this turned out to be our new high single for the show. A string like seven marks and no pin standing, it's going to be tough to compete with. He had a 40-pin lead after 2 and was able to maintain that against Michael Legendre, who bowled well, but it just didn't seem to work out for him.
Well, I think Chester Copperpot had his Lou Gehrig card and the information about One-Eyed Willie to serve him going into this semifinal matchup against Brian Fuller Jr. He's going to need all the help he can get because Brian's really been bowling very well.
Well, and this is his home house, so I see no shortage of high scores.
Right. Well, I look forward to it. I know that you are.
Oh, indeed.
And I know that all of you out there are too. Next week, our semifinal match, Brian Fuller Jr. against Dave Chestercove on Classic Candlepins. For our entire crew and Frank DeLuca, I'm Kyle Bruce. See you next week.